Women test men, though few dare to admit it. Not with obvious exams, but with simple phrases, with gestures, with silences that observe more than they say. Each innocent question, each casual comment is a way to measure your core, your calm, and your strength. They don't do it out of cruelty, but out of instinct. They want to know if the man in front of them is solid or if he crumbles at the first touch. When a man gets upset, justifies himself, or tries to please to avoid conflict, he loses ground. Not because she wants to beat you, but because she just confirmed that she can dominate you. And in that instant, respect evaporates. But when you keep your cool, when you respond without anxiety, when you don't justify yourself or over-explain, something changes. The energy is reversed. She feels that she is in front of a man who does not seek approval, who does not react out of fear, who does not need to prove anything. The mistake many men make is to believe that they must understand women to earn their interest. No, they must understand themselves. The tests are not about them, they are about you. About your control, your patience, your limits, and your consistency. Every word, every reaction, every look reveals whether you are master of yourself or if anyone can manipulate you. This video does not seek to teach you to play their game, but to master your own. Because when a man knows himself, controls himself, and stands firm, there is no test that can make him wobble. This is how true respect is earned, not with promises or speeches, but with character. Listen carefully, because these are the lessons that every man must learn. 1. Control your emotions. Fire, when out of control, ravages everything it touches, but when mastered, it illuminates and gives warmth. A man's emotions work the same way. If he does not govern them, they consume him. If he directs them, they strengthen him. Many women, without directly saying it, test a man's emotional control. They observe how he reacts to criticism, a delay, an uncomfortable comment. They are not looking for his perfection, they are looking for his mettle. They want to see if he has enough control to stay calm when something does not go as he wants. When a man loses control, his insecurity is revealed. Perhaps he raises his voice, justifies himself, or gets upset over something minor, showing that his emotions govern him. And that kills respect, because a man who does not control himself projects weakness. Women perceive the difference between emotional strength and reactivity. Strength is felt in serenity, not in noise. You do not need to demonstrate power if you know how to stay calm when others seek to provoke you. Controlling emotions is not repressing them, it's understanding them. It means not reacting from impulse, but from clarity. If someone challenges you, you do not enter the game. If they provoke you, you do not give up your energy. If they confront you, you choose when and how to respond. That pause before acting is the sign of maturity. The weak man reacts, the strong man chooses. In a relationship, that difference defines everything. The woman who tries to test your center does not want to see you angry. She wants to know if chaos can break you. If it can't, she feels safe by your side. Calm is not indifference, it is power. The man who knows how to maintain his composure when emotions threaten to overwhelm him demonstrates that he is master of himself. He does not have to speak louder or justify himself to be heard. His presence says it all. Whoever masters his mind controls the situation. Even silence, when used with purpose, becomes authority. When a woman throws you one of those tests disguised as curiosity, do not rush to explain yourself. Do not respond from anxiety. Observe, analyze, and if you decide to answer, do so with firmness and serenity. Because respect is not won with impulses, but with control. The emotionally stable man does not seek approval. He projects security. He does not fear silences. He does not need to have the last word. His internal control turns any test into an opportunity to show who he really is. And there lies the secret. Whoever controls his emotions not only overcomes the tests, he redefines the dynamics. He no longer competes, he leads, because true power is not in defeating others, but in not letting oneself be defeated. 2. Set your boundaries. Respect is born where you draw your line. A man's life without boundaries is like a house without walls. Anyone can enter, disrupt its order, and leave chaos in their wake. Women, consciously or unconsciously, test these walls from the very beginning. They don't do it out of malice. They do it to see if they can trust your structure. When a woman challenges you, contradicts you, or provokes you, she's not always looking for an argument. She's trying to understand if your core is solid or if any emotion can topple it. Your boundaries are a reflection of your strength. If you set them clearly and fearlessly, you inspire respect. If you hide them or give them up to avoid conflict, you become invisible. The man who fears losing approval is constantly negotiating his dignity. He says yes when he wants to say no. He adapts to what makes him uncomfortable. He keeps quiet when something bothers him and smiles when he is frustrated. This passivity is not kindness, it's cowardice. Because the one who doesn't defend his peace becomes a prisoner of others' will. A boundary is not a barrier, it's a declaration. This is me, this I won't tolerate, this I won't negotiate. Whoever doesn't learn to mark his space ends up surrounded by people who constantly trespass it. When a woman throws a test at you, don't take it as a threat, but as an opportunity to show who you are. Maybe she interrupts you, contradicts you, challenges you, or asks you something just to observe your reaction. If you get upset, you confirm her doubt. If you justify yourself too much, she loses interest. But if you stay calm, if you respond confidently without becoming aggressive or complacent, you awaken respect. Not because you control her, but because you control yourself. Boundaries are not explained, they are upheld. You don't have to shout or justify yourself or demonstrate authority. True strength lies in standing firm, even when the situation pushes you to give in. If someone crosses the line, you withdraw without drama. If someone insists, you repeat your stance without anger. That's how you teach how to treat you. People respect what stands firm and abuse what gives in out of fear. Setting boundaries doesn't mean closing yourself off to love or connection. It means protecting the respect that gives it value. A woman can feel attraction to many men, but she will only respect the one who has clarity. Not the one who seeks to please, but the one who respects himself enough not to accept less than he deserves. Your boundaries are not walls that isolate you. They are foundations that support you. Whoever has them doesn't fear losing because he knows he will never betray himself. Keep your boundaries clear, without anger, without justifications. There's no stronger sign of strength than a man who stays true to his own word. 3. Be consistent, not complacent. There are men who change color depending on who looks at them. In front of a strong woman, they show confidence. In front of a demanding woman, they become docile. This instability is not adaptation, it's a lack of identity. Consistency is the ground where respect is planted. Every woman perceives it, even without words. She doesn't need you to say who you are. She feels it in how you act, how you respond to pressure, whether you maintain your principles or adjust them to please. Most of women's tests are not looking for your knowledge, they're looking for your consistency. Being consistent means that what you say and what you do are aligned. You don't promise what you don't fulfill. You don't pretend a calmness you don't feel. You don't adopt ideas just to fit in. The woman who tests you doesn't do it out of malice. She does it to see if she can trust what she sees. When you contradict yourself, she loses faith. When you say one thing and do another, she loses respect. Because if you can't stay true to your word, how do you expect anyone to believe in you? Complacency is the most common disguise of fear. The complacent man says what she wants to hear, avoids arguing, adapts to everything, and convinces himself that this is maturity. But behind that apparent calm, there is weakness. It's not peace, it's fear of losing approval. Consistency, on the other hand, may be uncomfortable, but it inspires trust. A man who stands firm, even when he's not popular, conveys strength. And that strength is more attractive than any attempt to please. When a woman throws you a question that seems innocent, she is actually measuring whether you have your own judgment or if you bend under pressure. She may ask you about your plans, your limits, or your opinion on something sensitive. If you change your answer to avoid contradicting her, she perceives you as weak. If you maintain your stance without imposing, without trying to convince her, she notices that you speak from conviction, not from fear. Consistency is perceived in emotional stability and in the congruence between your words and your actions. Being consistent is not being stubborn. It's knowing who you are and acting from that knowledge, even when it's hard. It's saying no when something goes against your values, even if you risk her walking away. It's maintaining your lifestyle, your principles, and your limits without feeling guilty. And above all, it's not pretending to be someone you're not just to keep a woman's attention. Because when you pretend, you might please her, but she will never respect you. True attraction is born from the balance between firmness and serenity. The woman may not agree with you, but if she sees that your behavior is consistent, that your words don't change with the wind, she perceives you as a man of character. Being consistent is the foundation of quiet power. You don't need to impose it or justify it. Every action reflects it. The woman who tests you is not looking for you to dominate her. She's looking to see if you can control yourself. If she sees that you don't change direction out of anxiety, that your limits are the same with or without her, she will know that she's in front of an integral man. And an integral man doesn't need to be perfect to be respected. He just needs to be consistent. That's the clearest sign of strength you can give. 4. Look at actions, not words. Words are like smoke. They fill the air, but disappear at the first wind. Actions, on the other hand, are footprints that do not erase. Many men fall into the trap of listening to what they want to hear instead of observing what they have in front of them. Women know this and use it as a mirror. They say one thing and do another, not to deceive you, but to see if you are awake enough to notice the difference. The most subtle tests do not always come in the form of questions, but in small contradictions that reveal whether you are a man who listens with his ears or with his eyes. The naive man clings to words because he seeks emotional security. He wants to believe that what he is told is real, because facing the truth would require him to act. But the conscious man does not guide himself by promises, he guides himself by facts. He understands that words can be beautiful, but actions are the true declaration of intent. In a relationship, this is vital. It doesn't matter how much she tells you she loves you if her actions don't show it. It doesn't matter how much she promises to change if her behavior remains the same. Action is the evidence that validates or destroys the discourse. Observing actions does not mean distrusting, it means seeing clearly. The woman who tests you may praise you today and challenge you tomorrow just to see if your perception changes according to what you hear. If you let yourself be carried away by every word, she will know that she can handle you with emotions. But if you observe the patterns, the timings, and the facts, she will see that she cannot manipulate you easily. That kind of man commands respect without raising his voice, because his gaze says it all. He is not distracted by adornments. Words seduce, but actions reveal the truth. In everyday life, apply this rule. Watch how people act when no one is watching, how they react under pressure, how they treat others when it is not convenient for them to do well. This way you will know who deserves your energy and who is only seeking your attention. The same applies to you. If you talk about self-control, show it. If you say you have limits, keep them. Consistency is tested in deeds, not in phrases. Respect is not built on what is said, but on what is done over and over again. Each action reaffirms your value or destroys it. Do not be impressed by speeches or flattery or empty promises. Observe, analyze, and respond from reality, not from emotion. The woman who respects you does not do it for what you say, but because your actions support it. That is the difference between a man who inspires trust and another who only talks about it. Constant action is the language that needs no translation, and whoever masters that language never has to explain who they are. 5. Live your standards. The rules you follow when no one is watching are the ones that define your true worth. Many men talk about principles, but abandon them as soon as desire, comfort, or loneliness puts them to the test. Living your standards is not about repeating phrases about respect or discipline. It's about demonstrating it with your actions, even when no one applauds you. Women accurately detect whether you live what you preach or if your values are just a well-constructed speech. Every test they put you through seeks to discover if your standards are firm or if you adjust them, depending on the person you have in front of you. The man who lives without standards is like a compass without a north. He may seem kind, flexible, or open, but in reality he has no direction. He yields to pressure, changes his decisions for fear of losing affection, and justifies his inconsistency by saying he does it for love. That is the most subtle form of weakness. When a man has no internal rules, he becomes a slave to external ones. And no one respects someone who does not respect himself. Living your standards means staying true to your identity, even when it costs you relationships, opportunities, or moments of pleasure. It means that you do not negotiate your peace for approval, nor your dignity for desire. When a woman perceives that your values do not move, that your boundaries do not change, even though the attraction is strong, something in her mind reconfigures. She no longer sees you as a common man. She sees you as a solid man, someone who does not sell himself cheap. That solidity generates a type of respect that cannot be faked. Standards are not declared, they are demonstrated. Do not say that you value honesty if you lie to please. Do not talk about self-control if you lose your composure every time something frustrates you. Do not say that you seek respect if you stay where it is not given to you. The consistency between your principles and your behavior is the basis of your reputation. And a strong reputation is not built with words, it is earned with consistency. When a woman tests you, she observes if your behavior changes according to what she does. If you yield when she pressures you, if you break your own rules just to keep her close, she loses the admiration she once felt. But if she notices that your actions are consistent, that you do not betray yourself, her respect grows, because she understands that you are committed to something bigger than her approval, yourself. Living your standards is not arrogance, it is integrity. It's not about thinking you're superior, but reminding yourself that your worth does not depend on the acceptance of others. Every decision you make sends a message. Either you strengthen yourself or you dilute yourself. The woman may feel attraction for many, but she will only respect the one who respects himself. Therefore, live your standards as if they were your armor, not to protect you from the world, but to remind you who you are every time the world tries to make you forget. 6. Be independent. Relying on someone emotionally is like building your house on sand. It may look firm on the outside, but a small storm is enough to make everything crumble. Independence is not about being alone, but about not needing someone else to hold you up. Women immediately perceive when a man depends on their attention or validation. Every test they do seeks to measure that, whether you have a solid life on your own or if your entire balance depends on them. Most men confuse affection with dependence. They believe that being in a relationship means ceasing to be an individual. They start to revolve their entire life around the woman they desire, and without realizing it, they lose their essence. They abandon their passions, their goals, and even their personal rhythm for fear of losing her attention. But what they do not understand is that by doing so, they lose precisely what attracts them: their independence, their purpose, their masculine energy. Women do not respect the man who puts her at the center of his world. They respect the one who has a world of his own. Being independent is not about carelessness or coldness. It's knowing that even though you share moments, your peace does not depend on anyone's presence. If she ignores you, you continue with your plans. If she moves away, you keep growing. If she tests you, you don't give up your balance. This attitude does not come from pride, but from maturity. The man who needs constant attention shows emptiness. The one who focuses on his purpose shows fullness. The difference between the two is abysmal. One begs for crumbs, the other generates value. When a woman throws one of those tests disguised as distance or silence at you, do not react with anxiety. Do not look for her. Do not try to force a response. Breathe, stay the course, continue with your goals. Silence is part of the exam. She wants to see if your world stops when she moves away. If it does, she loses respect for you. If not, she gains admiration, because she understands that you are with her by choice, not by necessity. Independence is not demonstrated by saying, "I don't need you." It is demonstrated by living without depending. It is noticeable in your energy, in your routine, in how you handle personal spaces. Strong men do not beg for attention. They attract it with their focus. They do not argue to be a priority. They become a priority. And that kind of presence cannot be faked. Being independent does not mean isolating yourself, but knowing that your value does not change by the opinion or affection of anyone. The woman who respects you does so because she sees that your life has direction with or without her. And that is power, because whoever does not depend on others to feel complete becomes free. And freedom is the ground where respect flourishes. Stay centered, focused, and firm. Because the independent man does not seek to be admired, he is by nature. 7. Maintain firm calmness. Calmness is like an invisible wall that separates ordinary men from strong men. In a world where everyone reacts without thinking, maintaining serenity becomes an act of power. Women perceive it instantly. They observe how you respond to conflict, how you handle criticism or provocation. They're not looking for you to be perfect. They're looking to see if chaos can break you. Calmness is the mirror of your inner mastery, and every test they put you through has one goal: to discover if you have control or if your emotions rule you. When you lose your calm, you lose respect. No matter how reasonable your argument is, if you deliver it with anger or anxiety, your message gets diluted. The woman doesn't remember your words. She remembers your reaction. If you get upset, if you justify yourself, or if you try to always have the last word, you project insecurity. But if you maintain your composure, if you speak slowly, if you think before responding, you send a more powerful message than any speech. No one controls you. And that, more than anything else, inspires respect. Maintaining firm calmness doesn't mean staying silent about everything, but knowing when to speak and when silence is stronger. Sometimes not reacting is the smartest response. When a woman throws a provocation at you, interrupts you, or contradicts you, she's measuring your mettle. If you respond with aggression, you lose. If you give in with fear, you also lose. But if you hold your gaze, if you maintain a neutral tone, if you don't let yourself be dragged into the realm of emotion, you gain authority. Calmness is not imposed, it is transmitted. The man who masters his calm is the one who masters the situation. While others argue, he observes. While others seek to be right, he seeks to maintain inner peace. That serenity disconcerts anyone because you can't manipulate someone who doesn't react impulsively. And that's precisely the key. Women test a man's emotional stability not because they want to destroy him, but because they want to know if they can trust him when everything becomes uncertain. In everyday life, your calm is your shield. You use it in arguments, at work, and difficult times. Don't rush, don't respond immediately, don't give in to provocation. Every time you manage to maintain serenity when someone tries to take you out of your center, you strengthen your character. It's silent training, but it's the one that transforms the most. Firm calmness is disguised power. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't pretend to dominate. It simply is. And when it is, everything else falls into place. The woman who sees you calm in the storm understands that she can trust you, that you're not one of those who crumble at the first blow. That security is not faked, it's built. Control your energy, control your reaction, and watch how the world begins to treat you differently. Because the man who masters his calm doesn't fear losing, he knows he already possesses himself. 8. Defend your dignity. There are things that once lost are not recovered, and dignity is one of them. It is the silent foundation upon which everything else stands. Your respect, your power, your balance. Women perceive it without you saying it. They don't need to see grand gestures or hear speeches. It's enough to observe how you treat yourself and how much you're willing to tolerate. Every test they throw at you, every boundary they cross, seeks to measure that. They don't want a perfect man, they want one with principles, someone who won't betray himself to please. Defending your dignity doesn't mean becoming proud or distant. It means being clear about your worth and acting accordingly. It's not accepting crumbs of attention, not justifying disrespect, not begging for affection. Many men lose their power at that exact point. They allow themselves to be manipulated, humiliated, or tested over and over again out of fear of being alone. But the man who respects himself is never alone, because his value doesn't depend on company, it depends on character. When a woman tests you by challenging your dignity, she may unjustly criticize you, ignore you, or make you feel guilty for maintaining your boundaries. Don't fall into the trap of over-explaining or giving in just to regain her attention. Every time you lower yourself, you lose a piece of respect, not only in her eyes, but in your own. And when that happens, there's no turning back. Attraction dies where dignity is surrendered. Defending your dignity doesn't require shouting or confrontation, it requires firmness. If someone speaks to you with contempt, don't respond at the same level. Simply walk away. If someone doesn't value your presence, withdraw it. Dignity is not argued, it is demonstrated with actions. The silence of those who don't lower themselves is stronger than 1,000 explanations. It's a declaration of power that doesn't need words. In everyday life, your dignity is reflected in what you accept, what you allow, and what you choose to keep. Don't let the need to be loved make you forget your worth. Women respect the man who knows when to walk away, not the one who begs to stay. If something hurts your peace, don't justify it, let it go. Your value is not measured by what you endure, but by what you decide not to tolerate. Defending your dignity is reminding yourself that your essence is not in the approval of others, but in the inner strength that supports you. It's knowing that you can love without losing yourself, give without humiliating yourself, and withdraw without resentment. Dignity doesn't make you invincible, it makes you free. And that freedom is what attracts and is most respected by a woman. Because the man who respects himself teaches the world how he should be treated. 9. Withdraw with class. There are battles that are won not by staying, but by knowing when to leave. Retreat is not always cowardice, often it is wisdom. In relationships, knowing how to leave without resentment or drama is one of the most elegant and powerful acts a man can demonstrate. Women notice it, feel it, and respect it. Because whoever knows how to withdraw with class shows that he is not bound by ego or need, but by the awareness of his own worth. Sometimes the best response to a test is silence and distance. When a woman tries to provoke you, belittle you, or manipulate your emotions, she doesn't need a speech. She needs to see if you're capable of walking away calmly. The man who stays arguing or begging loses control, but the one who withdraws with dignity retains his power. Because dominance is not in who convinces, but in who does not let himself be dragged by what no longer deserves his energy. Withdrawing with class does not mean disappearing without empathy. It means recognizing that you have given your best and that insisting would be losing yourself. It is closing the door without hatred, without extra words, without proving anything. It is looking back with serenity, knowing that you kept your values intact. At that moment, you stop seeking approval and start gaining respect. The woman may not admit it, but deep down, she understands that the calmness with which you walk away weighs more than any emotional speech. Most men fail because they don't know when to let go. They stay trying to repair what is beyond repair, asking for explanations that change nothing, seeking to close a cycle that is already closed. And in that process, they lose something more valuable than love. They lose their peace. The strong man does not seek to convince. He seeks to preserve his center. Learn to recognize when a situation stops being a test and becomes wear and tear. When that happens, silence is the smartest response. Leaving with class is not giving up, it's choosing yourself. It is understanding that withdrawing from a person, a discussion, or an environment does not make you weak, it makes you free. Respect grows in the mind of the one who sees that you don't need to prove anything. The one who knows how to leave without resentment leaves a deep mark, because his calmness shows maturity and his silence reveals strength. The woman who watches you do it understands it immediately. You don't do it because you don't feel. You do it because you respect yourself. Never beg for attention, love, or understanding. Everything that is begged for loses value. The man who knows when to take a step back shows that his dignity is above pride. Withdrawing with class is your last word without saying anything. It is showing that you master your emotions, that you know when to close the cycle and move on. Because whoever leaves without destroying wins twice. He saves and elevates himself. 10. Let your actions speak. Words are promises of air, but actions are the foundations upon which respect is built. Every man can say he is strong, disciplined, or reliable, but only his actions can confirm it. Women know this, so they observe more than they ask. Each gesture, each reaction, and each decision reveals who you really are. She doesn't care what you say you'll do, she cares to see if you do it. That is the real test. In a world full of noise, the silence of deeds has more power than any speech. You don't need to announce your values, just live them. If you promise something, fulfill it. If you talk about respect, show it even when no one is watching. Women, consciously or unconsciously, test the consistency between your words and your actions. Perhaps you say you're calm, and they look to see how you react when something irritates you. Perhaps you say mind games don't affect you, and they wait for the moment when one touches you. They don't do it to destroy you, but to discover if what you say carries weight or is just a facade. The man who talks too much about himself makes it clear that he needs validation. But the one who acts firmly without explaining himself inspires respect, because his presence communicates what his words keep silent. In relationships, constant actions are worth more than 1,000 promises. When you demonstrate control, consistency, and purpose, you don't need to convince anyone. Your behavior speaks for you, and that's what sets the mature man apart from the one seeking approval. Letting your actions speak also implies knowing when to be silent. Not everything deserves a response. Not everything requires an explanation. Sometimes silence is the most powerful message. When a woman tests you with provocations or doubts, don't argue to justify yourself. Maintain your stance and let time reveal your truth. Consistency is a language that needs no defense. The one who lives in truth is not afraid of being misunderstood because he knows that facts support him. A man's credibility is not built in a day, it is earned with repetition. Each decision you make strengthens or weakens your image. If you promise calm and react with anger, if you talk about independence and beg for attention, if you preach respect and lose it in an argument, your word becomes empty. But if you act consistently, even in silence, your presence speaks louder than any speech. Respect is not demanded, it is inspired. The woman who observes your actions feels that she is in front of someone real, not in front of a character. Because actions don't lie, they don't get made up, they don't hold up without truth. Let your behavior be your voice, let your serenity be your response, and let your consistency be your reputation. In the end, the man who allows his actions to speak is not looking to prove, just to live with honor. And that, in a world full of empty words, is the most attractive thing there is. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment, "I am Stoic," as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.